Hello and welcome to the hobby shop. This is Don. Right now I'm just basically going to fill this in with a blog, mainly the fact that we're kind of behind on the episode, and the reason for that would be that I didn't know how to properly use Skype, so it was just a slight error, so we'll probably have the next episode up here in a few days. And besides that, what I'm going to be doing with this blog is I'm going to address some of the issues that we actually have with the show. And one of the main ones was the one that we actually got a complaint about, which was about curse words, the level of curse words. This was about a while back, and as I've rewatched the show, I've noticed that it's kind of dropped to a point, and I'm not using them as much. I know Phillip doesn't really curse that much, so I'm not really worried about him. I know I do, but that's because I've just been around people who curse a lot. I hear a lot of people curse a lot, so it's a bit of a norm. But I can drop it and be a little more civilized and professional. It's just that I'm just really used to saying it a lot around the people I'm around. That's what I'm really comfortable with. The other problem is we're gonna really debate whether or not to write a script, because when we come up with a topic, it's actually on the day we actually start. So we don't really have anything planned. We just go with whatever we find or whatever you think of quickly. And we have a whole week. It's just that we don't really come in contact that often. We only do about maybe once every week or so, which is, when we shoot up the hobby shop. And that's why a lot of times we have to improvise on what we're talking about. And I usually don't know what I'm talking about that often because I'm not fully aware. I don't look things up that much, and most of the topics we usually talk about are usually what Phillip knows of. I mean, I know a little about a lot. I don't know a lot about a little. So that's my problem. I don't really know about a lot of the topics we talk about. So that's why I'm usually silent a lot. But will we write in a script? I actually want to kind of do this, use it in a way to improvise, a way to practice this, because I do want to get it to the point to where we stream it. We have cameras, instead of the ugly logo that I just slapped on. So yeah, I still want to do it without a script, but if we get more contact with each other, I mean, we do have Skype, for God's sake, so there's not really much of an excuse there. We'll try to plan it out more. And, it's got to be a two-way street. I'm not going to be the only person looking up everything. Philip's got to do it too. Because I'm kind of busy with my own stuff. He's busy with his own stuff. So that's one thing. We'll still be improvised, but we'll do a little more research of what we're going to talk about. We're going to try and really improve that. The long pauses and the silences, or the ums or they've also got to go. And that's something that I've been trying to practice, and trying to practice improving my speech, putting a little more emotion in what I say. But I know I do sound monotone. It's kind of boring. But I'm trying to add feelings, how to speak. I'm looking up tutorials of how to do that. It's not easy. I thought it was going to be a little easy. No, it's not. It's complicated. But that's something definitely going to improve on, to avoid any of the pauses or the ums, because they just get really annoying. And I know I tend to do it a lot, so that's something that's going to be changed. The other problem is when we talk about a topic, we usually just praise it. We don't try to really dissect it really. We just look at it and say, okay, yeah, it's good. We kind of explain as to why we think it's good. We don't really look at two sides of the coin, you know. I think that when we see something and we should talk about it, we should look at every side, try to explain it, try to understand it a little bit more as to why we like it. You know, why do we find the reason where it gets so related to a fictional character that isn't there? It's just a script, paper, and just frames. Why do we make such a connection to something that's not real? So what I want to try and do is try to make it the more where we try to look at the stuff, more of a perspective, to see more into it, you know, to delve deeper, just to see what's the reason of why we like it, or the reason why someone would hate it, or understand why we hate something. Also, I wouldn't really say hate. Hate's a strong word. Or dislike or detest. I think detest is also a strong word. Shouldn't really say that, but just dislike. The other problem is when we're talking, we sound like we're tired. And that's because before we even start up, we're sitting here busy, you know, like I said before, we don't have a script, so we're sitting here thinking of what we're doing. So we spend usually about an hour to 2 hours before we even start trying to figure out what we're trying to do, just for one topic of the episode. And we're trying to not go in circles of, you know, saying something we've already said before, even though we tend to do that. So it's trying to figure out what we have to really talk about, but we spend just too much time and we end up exhausting the resource busy trying to plan it out when we should have already had this planned out. So we end up spending about an hour, 2 hours wasting it really. And then we come to a conclusion of saying, okay, I think we can do this. Can we actually lengthen this into an hour? And if we can lengthen it into an hour, can we actually, when we talk about it, can we make it interesting? Which we haven't really done that well. You know, I want to sit here and look at stuff and say, okay, can we talk about a subject? How long can we talk about this subject? Can we make something funny about this subject? Can we take it to a serious point and understand the subject to a whole and not sound like, you know, a prick? So that's something that we'll probably try and do later on. But for now, we're kind of wish-washy. We don't have really anything planned. I mean, all the stuff was kind of just in a heartbeat. You know, the whole podcast and everything. We didn't really even just plan it out. It was just like, hey, you bored? I got a mic, computer, check, people. Okay, let's do it. That's kind of why Aaron, Robert, and the other people who've come on have left, because it was kind of just sporadic. It wasn't planned. It wasn't long term. It just wasn't really ready, and I really wasn't ready. But you know, as we've been going, I've kind of just gotten to the point to just kind of accept things as are and enjoy the things we do talk about. Well, it's just that I do want to make it more professional, try to make it better, make it more enjoyable, try to see both sides of a coin of an argument and understand what I'm talking about. So hopefully sometime next month we'll have our shit together. Definitely gonna have that stuff together, because it sounds really unprofessional with the way it is, and that's kind of annoying. And another thing I actually want to do with this channel is, when I get done with my stupid animation, I'm gonna probably do skits, probably do little flash skits of stuff. So the channel will be a little more than just podcast. Just us talking. I am trying to save up for a decent camera, because quality matters, and having bad quality makes things really unwatchable. So trying to save up for that. That way, set it on a tripod, hook it up, have everything ready, and just, get going. So that way it'd actually be really, really simple. It's just that we don't really have the money to work this out. And I think that we should have probably planned this months beforehand and have gotten this ready instead of just being sporadic and saying, hey, let's go with this right here, right now. So that's actually something that just has to be planned out, and hopefully by next month I'll try to get things well done, well planned, and scheduled, and under control. As for the channel during updates, where we always do a podcast every week. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get the episode ready every Saturday. I don't know around what time. I won't say really what time. I'm just at least going to say sometime Saturdays where I'm going to sit here and try to get it going. That's where it's got to start. That's what it's going to be. No later than that. So next month I'm going to sit here and try that. Unless we have technical issues like we are having with the last episode. Which if we do, I'll sit here and do another one of these and, just do a little blog over it. That's pretty much all it will be. But whenever we fall really far behind on our episode. I think that's the main problems with it. I have been needing to probably put a better title card than just the Hobby Shop logo, but because that's really all I have, that's just kind of what I work with. And I mean, I should probably put better stuff, put in more descriptions, put in tags, but I don't really get around to that. I'm just like, okay, upload video, slap title, done, whatever, move on. which is good. But hopefully next time, or next month, get things better, get the editing better, improve on a lot of stuff, because it's not even really amateur. It's like bad to where, like, if anyone had this stuff, they could just hook it up, do it, and just like that. And to be a professional, you gotta do it to where you do it where others can't. So that's something that just has to be done and has to be fixed. I'm not sure what Phillip has planned, but what Phillip also wants to do with the channel is he wants to do reviews. A little bit like Nostalgia Critic, although I don't think he's gonna do the angry critic route, because like he stated before, people have already done this millions of times. So I don't know what he really has planned. I haven't gotten in contact with him enough to understand with what he wants with the show. So I think probably next day we'll probably have things planned out. We'll try to figure out, get this shit done. And that's just really all the main problems. Let's see, the minor problems of the show. The topics, we really get off topic very easily, and I don't know how I really feel about that, especially since when it starts to become a one-sided topic, as in only one person will speak for X amount of time and the other one just stays silent. Again, it's got to be a two-way street. I would like to prefer where both people can talk and both people understand what they're talking about, instead of just like, okay, I know this topic, but you don't know jack shit about this topic, so you're just left there to sit there and stare. So that's a minor thing that really needs to get acknowledged and probably fixed. I'm not really 100% sure what we would really do of trying to keep the topic to not go off topic. It's something that Phillip does a lot. Phillip really goes off topic for quite a while. I don't know if I derail. I mean, I know I might a little bit, but I don't really do it that often as much as he does, because he'll ramble on for a good while about something, and I usually have no idea what he's talking about, so I'm just left there to stare. Uh, Now, I think that's really all the major and minor things that are conflicting. And another thing that Phil was doing. Oh wait, that's right. Phil said he wants to do also blogs. So again, if we don't get a hobby shop up, then we'll do a blog. As for the bargain bin, for those wondering what that is our AMAs, Ask Me Anything, in case people don't know what that is. Where we honestly, I don't even know where these questions come from. He always says we have a lot, and I seen from the views I mean, I believe in him. I believe he's not lying. It's so weird. Where the hell do all these questions come from when there's hardly any views? So that's kind of startling. But yes, I'm honestly fine with any question. He's opposite. He's not okay with controversial, and what he means by controversial are anything highly political, because when you say anything political or religious or any of the really big topics, you can sound like a pretentious dick. And those are topics that I completely understand. To why he wouldn't want him on the channel, because controversy does bring people in, but I don't want to be associated with that kind of channel. To hear people say, "Oh yeah, those people just sit there and bitch about this all day." That's something I don't want to be associated with. I don't want to be associated, oh look, those are the assholes, biased assholes, fuck them. Gotta understand. But mainly, like the channel name is, it's just gonna be really consisting of hobbies, of things we more understand, especially me. I usually understand more of this, and if you want to send in any question, it'd be mainly preferably about let's see, our pool is very limited, but out of the hobbies is I guess really kind of media related, like TV shows, but certain TV shows. I'm not gonna really get that specific into that, but I will just say, TV genre. You can sit there and ask anything, and more than likely we will probably know. I mean, we're sitting on our asses a lot, so we've seen quite a bit, and there are stuff we do need to see. Video games, practically nothing really new. I've been out of the loop. Kind of weird, since I used to be back in the loop back in the years for the Xbox. Kind of sad knowing that I'm kind of stuck outside of it now. So when it really comes to gaming for questions, you can usually ask about like communities, but to ask about oh, what do you think of this new game? Well, I haven't played it, don't got the console, don't got the money. So preferably, if you're going to talk about games, either it be something around I guess around 360. That's really the only thing 360 to PC for me. Same for about Phillip, but it's more like 360 him. I'll go with 360 PC of 2013, around 2013 games, maybe. I wouldn't really say 2013 games because I don't really even have any new games. But about 360 games and lower, we'll probably know more about, or what to talk about, or have more opinion about it. Or E3s, that's more like in the media, like television, something you watch. But other topics we can know about. Don't ask about books. We're not book people. I've been trying to read into books and stuff, but I don't know. I just see something flashy and get distracted by it. So books are kind of a no-go, and book movies are also a no-go kind of for me. I tend not to watch them, and I have a pretty biased opinion about them of not liking them, just because they're But other things that you could sit here and talk about around like board games, not really. The most thing I ever did around like board games or with group people would be tabletop card magic or tabletop cards such as Magic the Gathering, which was really it for me. He plays Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been out of that loop forever. And I've played a bit of D&D, but I don't know jack shit. I don't know jack shit about D&D. Haven't touched that in years. Hobbies are really stuck in a very, very, very small niche. But we can tend to usually talk about a topic for a very long time. And I don't know if that's really it's a bit of a good and a bad thing. Just because we can get to the point to where we're just talking your ear off and someone's probably like, oh dear God, please shut up and move on. But that's really the main topics we're aware of. That's really it. To sum up like that. Not very specific niche, but it's a base of asking. But for the AMAs, for me, I'd say you can go crazy with it. I'll answer just about practically anything. For Phillip, he's pretty picky on what he'll answer, so when directing questions to him, I just say fucking go crazy. Why should you let someone tell you what you should ask? I think you should ask any question you feel like. So that's my thing. If he doesn't answer, that's his problem. I'll probably answer it if he doesn't. But I think that's probably where I'm gonna end this little blog. Is just sit here and acknowledge some of the things that really just need to be patched up. So with that all being said, I think that's just all the major things that need to be known about, of things that need to be an improvement. But yeah, this has been Don, and as always, thank you for watching.